What if Tensura the Eighth Primordial? Author Tenten 100. When Haru of the Minamoto dies standing after a heroic effort during the Genpei War, he is reincarnated in the world of that time. I got reincarnated as a slime, as a demon. In the Underworld, as a bottom feeder. Watch Haru climb the ranks of the demon ladder and maybe someday stand toe-to-toe with the monsters of the Underworld and the Cardinal World. Chapter 8, Haru vs. Agera. Haru replies calmly, "No, we have not met demon swordsmen, but I have heard of your reputation." Agera lifts a brow. "Reputation, could you elaborate?" "Of course," Haru nods. "You see, I like to fancy myself as a very good swordsman, but when I boasted about this to a greater demon friend of mine, he told me there's a demon who might be a greater swordsman than me. Naturally, I was curious and had to check this out." Agera nods in acknowledgement. "Well, it is true that I'm a swordsman, but to say I'm better than you, that I could only know through battle, which I assume is why you are here." He finishes with a small smile. Haru smiles back. "This is why I enjoy conversing with smart people. There's no need for over-explanation." Agera chuckles. "You know what? I too am curious about your swordsmanship. I've only ever met one other demon swordsman besides myself, and they weren't very good. I've spent the last 250 years improving my style, but lately it feels like I've hit a bottleneck. Maybe you're what I've been missing." Haru's smile widens. "I suppose there are no more words needed." Agera turns to Karara. "John-sama, please allow me the chance to duel this demon swordsman." Karara looks at Haru unimpressed. "Do whatever you want, I really don't care." "Thank you," Agera replies, then turns back to Haru. "I have a good place for our battle, follow me." He begins walking, and Haru moves after him without hesitation. Behind them, Diablo watches their retreating figures before glancing at Karara. "Do you want to go watch? We haven't spent time with each other in so long." Esprit immediately snaps. "Don't get so casual, Noir. Just because we allowed you and your little apprentice off the hook doesn't make us friends." Diablo ignores her completely. "Karara, you should really keep your dog on a leash. I'll really kill her, you know. She's getting on my last nerve." Karara rolls her eyes. "If you want to go watch this sword battle, go by yourself. I'm not interested. I'd rather go cause trouble for that demon Lord Leon." "Oh, come on, John," Diablo sighs. "You cannot tell me you aren't at least a little curious about him. That swordsman. He doesn't have a lineage, isn't that strange?" Karara pauses, thinking. "What's with him anyway? He's weird." Diablo chuckles. "That's not the only thing weird about him. That's why I'm so interested." Karara stretches her arms. "I'm not busy with anything anyway. This might serve as some entertainment at least." She stands up. Esprit opens her mouth to protest, but closes it immediately, saying nothing. Outside, Haru and Agera walk in silence until Agera stops at a worn, scarred battlefield. He turns, and Haru mirrors him, taking his position at the opposite end. Above them, Diablo, Karara, and Esprit teleport onto the viewing platform overlooking the battleground. Haru looks around. This is a good spot. Agera nods. This is where battles between yellow lineage demons usually take place. He then draws his sword, the blade sliding smoothly from its red sheath. "Greater demon of the hazy-style swordsmanship," Agera declares. Haru responds in kind, unsheathing his own weapon. "Greater demon of the Hokushin Ida-Ryu-style swordsmanship." The two greater demons faced each other across the ruined battlefield. Haru's maroon hair fluttered in the slight wind, his grip firm on the hilt of his pristine white-hilted katana. Agera's unsheathed sword gleamed ominously, his eyes calm yet sharp, the aura of centuries of mastery and experience radiating from him. Then without warning, Agera launched. His movement was a blur, faster than the eye could follow. Haru activated his barrier magic instinctively, erecting a translucent shield that shimmered with force. Agera's sword struck the barrier with a clang and was blocked, sparks flying. Haru felt the residual impact reverberate through the shield, yet he remained unmoved. "What very impressive reflexes," Agera said, a faint grin on his face. "I was sure that attack would catch you off guard. Now then, greater demon, show me what more you can do." Haru narrowed his eyes. Channeling his gravity magic, he compressed the space beneath Agera's feet, attempting to pin him in place. Agera staggered, but just as he was about to be immobilized, he coated his sword with his anti-magic barrier, slicing through the gravity field like it was butter. Haru was shocked. Coating a sword in an anti-magic barrier, was that even possible? He had never seen such a thing done in the original canon novel. Did this mean he just had to throw whatever knowledge he had of the novel out the window? Haru leaped backwards. Deploying gravity magic once again, he crushed the ground beneath Agera to launch shards of rock into the air, intending to pin or slow him. Agera sliced through them effortlessly with a swift horizontal swing, deflecting the debris. "Your movement speed and battle instincts are exceptional," Agera commented, sidestepping a falling rock. "If given a few hundred years, you might actually become an unfair opponent to fight." Haru smirked. "Well, thank you for the compliment. You are not bad yourself." Haru then activated gravity repulsion, sending a concentrated pulse at Agera. The attack was meant to hurl him backward, but Agera anticipated it perfectly. As he leapt aside, Haru's mind calculated the trajectory of Agera's counterattack before the man even moved. Haru dodged just in time, using a mini-gravity pulse beneath his own feet to propel himself in a twisting arc. The battlefield became a chaotic storm of flashes, strikes, deflections, pulses of gravity magic, and bursts of energy. Haru's sword clashed against Agera's with a metallic roar, sparks flying. Each movement was fluid, each step precise. "What incredible swordsmanship," Agera commented, feinting a vertical strike before twisting to slice horizontally. "Did you create the style yourself?" Haru thought, "Well, I didn't, but who would know, right?" "Yes, this is my own sword style," he said with a smile. He redirected his gravity field, creating a zone that simultaneously crushed and immobilized the air around Agera. Agera swung with a circular motion, slicing through the gravity field with an anti-magic wave, but Haru was ready. He had anticipated this exact action and countered with a barrier-protected gravity spike, forcing Agera to jump back mid-swing. "This is insane," Haru thought. "His 250 years of experience is predicting even my hyper-accelerated thoughts. I need to find a new angle." They paused, taking a moment to gauge each other. Haru thought even with thought acceleration, parallel thinking, and gravity magic, it's still so hard to fight him. "You are incredible," Agera said with a smile. "Not just fast, but strategic. Not many can maintain offensive pressure without leaving themselves vulnerable." Haru chuckled lightly. "Look who's talking. Using your sword to break my gravity fields. How does one even think of such a tactic?" Agera chuckles and says, "It's not that impressive, really." Haru scoffs. "Not impressive? What kind of flexing is that? You are lucky I can't bring down a meteor since there is no space in the Underworld." Their eyes met. The tension in the air was electric, and then, simultaneously, they charged again. Chapter 9, Haru vs. Agera PT. 2. Haru accelerated midair, using gravity to manipulate the space beneath him to twist and turn with impossible speed. Every swing of his katana was backed by gravity magic, each strike capable of crushing stone or bending the trajectory of projectiles. Agera met every strike with precision, his sword coated in anti-magic, slicing through the very forces Haru wielded. "He's incredible," Haru thought. "He's reading my every move. What's the point of thought acceleration then?" Agera smirked, noticing the slight shift in Haru's gravity fields. "Ah, there it is. You are starting to get serious now, aren't you?" Haru tilted his head, pretending to laugh. I've been serious from the very start. You just annoyingly read my every move. Can you read minds or something? Not exactly, Agera replied. But centuries of sword combat let me sense patterns. You're fast, but even pattern recognition has limits. Let me show you something amazing. Double cherry blossoms, 8 petals flash. He screamed as he moved. Haru was cut, eyes, throat, heart, and all his vitals, and he didn't know how. He had read the move but couldn't react in time. He recognized this attack, used by Hakyuru and Rimuru in the novel. How incredible! Haru regenerated. The smile and enjoyment couldn't be more apparent on Haru's face. What an incredible attack, demon swordsman, Haru says with a crazed look. Please show me more. Agera is slightly taken aback. What is this shift in personality? Is this demon a battle maniac? The two movers collide again, swords ringing in a symphony of metal and power. Haru deployed gravity immobilization around Agera's legs and midsection, trying to trap him. Agera twisted, using his anti-magic barrier to cut through the field while simultaneously sliding behind Haru with a backhand strike aimed at his flank. Haru barely blocked with a gravity-infused parry, the force sending him spinning backward. This makes him smile more. Now this battle was starting to be fun. From the sidelines, Diablo observed with a small chuckle, speaking to Carrera and Esprit. It seems my little demon swordsman is having a lot of fun, he says. Carrera responds, he makes me feel uneasy. He reminds me of Rouge, that battle pervert. Somewhere in the Cardinal World in the icy lands of the north, Guy Crimson sneezes. Rain immediately asks, Guy-sama, are you sick? Demons don't get sick, Rain. You are such an idiot sometimes, Misery responds. Guy responds, it's probably nothing, just a sneeze. Back on the battlefield in the Underworld. Interesting, Diablo said. He certainly does have certain traits of that guy, but I think they are categorically different. Carrera leaned forward. In what sense? Diablo responds, I don't know yet, that's why I've been following him. He has a lot of different traits, battle instinct, curiosity, and likes to joke around. I think he leans towards joking around more and not taking anything serious. That aside, who do you see winning? Carrera responds, I don't know. I'd probably say a demon from my own lineage. If he loses, he is a disgrace. Diablo thinks, didn't you just lose to me? Agera then continues, what is your evaluation? Diablo smirks. This is going to be more than evenly matched. This is going to be tight. The maroon-haired greater demon's speed gives him the upper hand in movement and reaction time. Realistically, he should win, but your demon's 250 years of combat and anti-magic sword are the counterbalance. Whoever exploits a moment of overconfidence wins. Esprit folded her arms. If only that swordsman could do us the favor of killing that maroon swordsman, it would make me very happy. Back on the battlefield, Haru's parallel thinking allowed him to execute multi-directional attacks that seemed to split his presence into multiple angles of offense. Agera's sword weaved through them, cutting through gravity waves and feint attacks with uncanny precision. They paused briefly again, both breathing evenly. The ground around them was cracked and splintered. Small craters and floating debris hung in the air, caught in Haru's residual gravity fields. You're very fast, Agera admitted, tightening his grip on the hilt. Not many can react as quickly as you, but speed alone doesn't win battles. Haru's smile was wide, almost unhinged. Oh, that's funny. Do you really think I'm someone who relies only on speed? I have more in my arsenal. Agera raised an eyebrow. Oh, do tell. Haru's gravity magic flared violently, compressing a huge area around him while simultaneously creating multiple gravity projectiles. But this time, he didn't attack head-on. He used barriers strategically, blocking all visible avenues of attack, then shifted his gravity fields in a subtle, overlapping pattern, imperceptible to even an expert without supernatural reaction speeds. Agera's eyes narrowed, sensing the invisible trap. He struck down, cutting through the gravity field in one sweeping arc, but Haru had predicted this exact attack and had repositioned himself mid-swing. A sudden, bone-jarring crunch of compressed gravity spikes erupted from below Agera's feet. The first wave immobilized him for a split second. Haru struck immediately, a thrust aimed at the chest. Agera countered with a lateral swing, but the attack grazed his clothing just enough to force a defensive reposition. Haru's grin widened. This is it, the opening. Agera, sensing something amiss, readied himself for a final counterattack. But Haru's gravity crush compressed the space around Agera's sword hand, slowing it fractionally. That fraction, smaller than a heartbeat, was enough. Haru lunged, his blade striking true. Agera deflected with a thin slice, but the residual force of the gravity field pinned his body, making the follow-up attack unavoidable. Haru's katana grazed the chest, drawing a streak of blood, a narrow, almost imperceptible wound, yet decisive, and he pointed a blade at Agera's neck. The battlefield fell silent for a heartbeat. Both warriors stepped back, breathing evenly. Their eyes met, and a mutual nod of acknowledgement passed between them. Haru muttered, "Looks like I won this round." Agera smirked faintly as he regenerated, with his chest wound quickly closing up. "By a narrow margin. I won't make excuses. This has shown me I still need to grow, and I already have a way to such a path. The next time we meet, I won't lose." From the sidelines, Diablo clapped slowly. "Interesting. How beautiful. To think I'd enjoy swordsmanship to such an extent. No, it has to be because of him." Carrera muttered under her breath, "HMPH. What's so interesting about swordsmanship anyway? They brag about honor, then go on to lose. This is stupid." Esprit just shook her head. "John, I think that swordsman deserves a punishment for giving the yellow lineage an embarrassing loss." Carrera looked at Esprit and said, "If you think that's an embarrassing loss, maybe you need the punishment. Forget it. Don't wait up. I'm going to mess with Demon Lord Leon." Back in the golden city of El Dorado, Demon Lord Leon, sitting with a heap of paperwork, shivered intensely. Alrose, standing nearby and seeing this, asked, "Leon-sama, are you okay?" Leon responded, "I'm okay. I just have a very bad feeling." Back on the battlefield, Haru looked at Agera, extending a hand. "That was a great fight." Agera clasped it firmly. "Indeed, you have skill, greater demon. Next time I won't hold back either." The two swordsmen stepped back, eyes still locked with mutual respect. The battlefield, scarred and shattered, bore witness to their clash, a battle of minds, hacks, and centuries of skill. Chapter 10. Summon the Demon. A few days before the battle between Haru and Venom. Inside the royal meeting room of the Kingdom of Falmouth's palace, a tense gathering of high-ranking officials was underway. The polished marble floor reflected the agitation in the room, and the ornate pillars did little to soften the heated atmosphere. King Admaris sat at the head of the long table, looking tired as he listened to his Minister of Finance, Reheim, slam his palm against the desk. "It's important we secure that ore for ourselves before Falmouth does," Reheim declared sharply, his voice echoing through the chamber. King Admaris raised a hand uncertainly. "But Reheim, wouldn't taking it risk a conflict with Falmouth? We have enjoyed peace for years." Reheim did not hesitate. They cannot declare war over something that doesn't belong to them. He turned to another noble. "Back me up here, Earl Nidal." Earl Nidal nodded immediately. "It's true. No nation has laid official claim to the ore yet. Your Majesty must not hesitate. A king must be decisive and act before opportunity slips away." Several nobles chimed in as well. "We lose nothing by acting first. Falmouth can complain, not retaliate. With this ore, our national barrier could last decades. Falmouth must strike while fortune favors us." King Admaris rubbed his forehead, overwhelmed. "Is that so? His gaze shifted to Raisin, seated calmly at his right. "Raisin, what do you think?" Raisin, the court mage of Falmouth, adjusted his robe before replying. "Your Majesty, our magic barrier has weakened over the years. Quality ores capable of supporting it have grown rare and difficult to preserve. An ore of this caliber could sustain it for many years. In my opinion, the risk is acceptable." The king exhaled in relief. "If you think so as well, Raisin, then I suppose it's fine." Reheim offered a confident smile. "It is fine, King Edmaris, rest assured." King Edmaris nodded slowly. "How many soldiers should we send?" Raisin replied in a serious tone. "It is not a large village. They possess warriors, but nothing threatening. 100 to 150 soldiers should suffice. Sending more may alert Falmouth unnecessarily." Earl Nidal spoke immediately, smiling thinly. "In that case, Your Majesty, allow me to dispatch my private troops. They specialize in stealth operations." This mission must be credited to my domain, Nidal thought with satisfaction. With success, my reputation will soar, and so will my funding. King Edmaris nodded gratefully. "You would do that, thank you, Earl Nidal." Reheim leaned forward. "Once we acquire the ore, we can redirect surplus funds into other promising avenues. In time, Falmouth will rise as a powerhouse of commerce. None will surpass us." King Edmaris smiled faintly. "Thank you, Minister Reheim. I'm counting on you." "As long as you trust me, my king," Reheim replied, lips curling into a polished smile, "I will deliver." Several nobles voiced their agreement. This is the perfect opportunity for Falmouth's advancement. With resources like that ore, our dominance in trade is guaranteed. Falmouth won't stand a chance if we act now. The dynamics in the room were clear. King Edmaris held little true authority. His decisions were merely extensions of his council's desires. Finally, the king straightened. "Very well. I leave the operation to you, Earl Nidal. Coordinate with Raisin. I expect results. This meeting is adjourned." The nobles rose one by one, bowing before exiting. Earl Nidal approached Raisin with a composed smile. "Court Mage Raisin, please accompany me to my estate." Raisin nodded. "Shall we leave immediately?" "That would be most appreciated," Nidal replied. And so, without hesitation, the operation to seize a precious magic ore, rumored to hold an immense density of magicules, was set in motion. Dorigen Village, borderlands between Falmouth and Falmouth. The sky glowed red, flames devoured homes, smoke choked the air, bodies of fallen village warriors lay scattered everywhere. Just an hour ago, soldiers of Falmouth had descended upon Dorigen, demanding they hand over a magic ore, claiming it originally belonged to Falmouth. The villagers had found it recently, its strange magicules rumored to be connected to Veldora. When the villagers refused, lacking proof, the commander ordered the assault. Now the battle was over. The village was in ruins. The village chief lay on the ground, blood dripping down his face, barely able to lift his head. Standing above him was the Falmouth commander, Commander Lark Veldman, a sharp-jawed man with cold eyes and a perpetual sneer. Kneeling beside the chief was his eldest daughter, Riene Dorigen, tears falling uncontrollably as she held her father in her arms. "Father, please, don't fight anymore," she pleaded, her voice trembling. "We'll give them the ore. That's what they want, so please don't let our people die." Her desperate eyes begged for agreement. But the chief looked up at Commander Lark with unyielding fury. "I will never give that ore to vile creatures like you," he spat. Only the chief and a handful of trusted warriors knew the ore's location. One of those warriors had betrayed them and informed Falmouth. Riene's eyes widened in despair. "Father, this isn't the time for pride." Commander Lark chuckled darkly. "You see, even your daughter thinks you're an old fool. Just give us the stupid piece of rock and we'll leave." The chief glared fiercely. shockingly conscious despite his wounds. A stupid piece of rock, you call it. That ore can rebuild our village. Falmouth negotiated respectfully with us. But you Falmouth dogs are treacherous fiends. I will protect that ore even if it costs me my life. Father! Renee screamed, tears streaming. She turned to Lark, bowing deeply. Please don't hurt us anymore. I'll look for the ore. I'll find it, I swear. Lark smiled cruelly. No need, I've lost patience. I'll start killing the women and children. That should loosen his tongue. You can't do that, Renee shouted. I said I will look for it. She turned back to beg her father once more. And froze. Her father was smiling. A calm, resolute smile. Renee's blood ran cold. Father, why are you smiling? Commander Lark frowned. What are you planning, old man? The chief slowly lifted his head. Do you think I'd let filth like you lay hands on that ore? When I said I would protect it with my life, I meant it. Every man in this village shares my resolve. Then, with the last of his strength, he shouted, Garen, is the circle ready? Behind him stood one of the village's strongest warriors, Garen Redsteel, bloodied and barely able to stand. Commander Lark blinked. Circle, what damn circle? Garen placed a trembling fist over his heart. Yes, village chief. He stepped atop a large symbol glowing faintly beneath dirt and blood, a magic circle he had been drawing in secret while the chief distracted the commander. Renee stared in horror. Sea circle, father, what are you doing? What is? Garen raised his blood-soaked hand and began to chant, his voice hoarse yet unwavering. Gate of the abyss, open. Through blood, through sacrifice, through soul. We call to the netherworld. Answer, demon of higher rank. He slammed his palm into the center of the summoning circle. Boom! Black and crimson light exploded upward. Wind tore through the burning village. Magicules spiraled violently like a miniature storm. Commander Lark's expression twisted. We let our guard down, a summoning circle, a demon. Renee's face drained of all color as her father whispered, almost lovingly. This is our final act. Dorigen will not bow to Falmouth. Chapter 11, Haru is summoned. Back in the Underworld, after their fierce battle, Haru and Agera walked side by side, still catching their breath. Haru spoke first. Your sword style is clearly superior to mine, and it even has magic mixed into it. That double cherry blossoms, 8 petals flash, it's extremely dangerous. You have to teach me. Agera nodded casually. It's not that hard to learn, especially since you already have swordsmanship experience. You should pick it up pretty fast. Besides, he smirked lightly, there are some things you need to teach me as well. Haru smiled. Of course, and can I think of you as a friend now? Agera gave a soft smile in return. I'd like nothing more. At that moment, Diablo approached with his hands behind his back, smiling as if nothing in the world could ever bother him. You two look like you had fun, he said. So where are we going next? Haru blinked. Yes, I had a lot of fun, but what do you mean, where are we going next? Agera added. Where did John-sama and that girl go? Diablo shrugged. John went to piss off Leon again. As for that disrespectful girl, he waved dismissively, I don't care where she went. I see, Agera replied simply. In a blink, Diablo appeared directly in front of Haru. Don't you have anyone else you want to fight? I have a few in mind. Haru screamed internally. I don't want anything else to do with you. But outwardly, he forced a polite smile. Thanks for your help earlier, Noir, but I think I'll be fine on my own from now on. Diablo placed a hand over his chest, feigning heartbreak. Using me and then throwing me away, how cruel of you. Haru stumbled over his words, unsure how to respond, but then suddenly froze. A strange sensation washed over him. A pulling force, His expression changed. Agera noticed immediately. "What is it? Are you okay?" Haru nodded slowly. "I'm fine. I just feel a pulling force. It's strange." Diablo's smile widened. "Someone must be attempting to summon you. How strong is the pull?" "Not too strong," Haru replied. "Just odd summoning me." Agera crossed his arms. "If the pull isn't strong, you can ignore it. It's probably not a high-level summoner." But Diablo leaned in with obvious curiosity. "Haru, don't you want to see the Cardinal World? It's very interesting." Haru exhaled, then smiled faintly. "You know what? This might be interesting. Let's see what the Cardinal World has to offer." He stopped resisting. A glowing summoning circle formed beneath him, and in an instant, the force pulled him downward into a dimensional vortex. With a flash of light, Haru vanished. Agera and Diablo were left standing together. Diablo turned casually. "So, do you want to go get some tea?" Agera stared at him, utterly speechless at his question. Back in Dorjin village, the summoning circle ignited with crimson light as a figure slowly materialized within it. Haru descended into existence with his eyes closed, levitating calmly in the center of the circle with his legs crossed. His maroon hair was neat, his outfit immaculate, a maroon suit, black shoes, black shirt, white tie, and black gloves. A katana hung at his waist. Two sharp black and brown horns curved from his forehead. Even amidst the burning ruins of the village, he appeared impossibly composed, regal, handsome, and terrifying all at once. Slowly, he opened his eyes. His maroon sclera and golden pupils gleamed with curiosity. Still lightly levitating, he smiled and spoke. "Who dares summon me? You'd better have enough sacrifices prepared." Internally, Haru was thrilled. This line shows up in every anime, and I finally get to say it myself. Riene fell backward in horror. "A D-demon," she whispered. "Father, what have you done?" She had never seen a demon before. The terror consumed her. The commander stared wide-eyed. Summoning a demon, could they even control one? What kind of recklessness was this? The soldiers panicked behind him. This wasn't a bandit. This wasn't a monster. This was a demon. The village chief ignored his daughter. Bloodied and barely standing, he looked directly at Haru. "Demon Sama, please help us. We men of the village are prepared to sacrifice ourselves." The remaining injured men voiced their agreement. "Father, what are you talking about?" Riene shouted. She stared at the smiling demon. His gentlemanly posture and friendly expression fooled her for not even a moment. Haru responded with faint amusement. "All the men are willing to sacrifice themselves, you say? Then who will protect the women and children afterward? Humans, such short-thoughted creatures." He shrugged. "But your decisions don't concern me. Tell me, why do you desire my help?" Riene stuttered desperately. "Demon Sama, is there any way we can cancel the summoning? It was a mistake." Haru cut her off sharply. "Don't anger me. The summoning is complete. State your purpose and don't waste my time." Haru thought, "I just came into the Cardinal World and she wants to send me back. What joke is that?" Riene flinched, shrinking back. The village chief forced himself upright and explained everything. The attack, the slaughter, the demand for magic ore. Haru listened, then sighed. "I see." He laughed. "All right then, I'll help you. Falmouth Kingdom, huh? That country keeps causing trouble no matter the era." Haru had said that just to sound like a way older demon. When someone says, "no matter the era," it shows that person has lived for a very long time. Then he added, "And there's no need for a blood sacrifice. There's a ridiculous amount of magicules here already. I'm assuming that's thanks to the magic ore that alone is enough for the contract." Riene, the village chief, and Garen froze. A demon, not demanding sacrifices. The chief asked cautiously. Demon-sama, are you sure? Haru descended gracefully, landing on both feet. He smiled. What, do you want me to take sacrifices instead? Riene jumped forward in panic. And no, the magical contract is fine. She had no idea what kind of demon that had materialized was, but this was the best outcome they could hope for. Haru clapped once and turned to Garen. You're the one who summoned me, correct? Then we need to form a demon contract. State what you want from me in the form of payment. I'll accept, and the contract will be forged. Garen nodded. I want the summoned demon to kill every Falmouth soldier here. Payment shall be in magicules. You may take as much as you need. Haru smiled. Very well, I accept. A black sigil burned itself onto the back of his right hand, a show of the contract being successfully formed. Haru then turned toward the Falmouth army, resting his hand on his katana as he walked forward. The soldiers trembled in fear. Haru stopped a short distance away. Well then, shall we begin? Sweat rolled down the commander's forehead as he stepped forward, fear all over his face. I'm Lark, I fear no demon, you don't scare me. Haru's smile widened. How interesting. I love your resolve, Commander Larkson. Behind Haru, Riene exhaled in relief. Thank goodness, she thought, we're saved.